Okay, I guess we are on our business. The first thing is I want to make sure that the online audience can hear me clearly. I do not know whether we can do that or not. But anyway, so if the online audience have any kind of issue, try to maybe chat text chat me a little bit here. But anyway, very good to see you guys finally. Some of you probably went through my summer fine 89 courses already. All right, so I'm not that new to you, but some of you maybe on the other session, Dr. Bean Council session, maybe this is the first time. So allow me to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Ning Chen. So professor over here at Cal State Fullerton. I'm a long timer. Okay. So this is my 39 years or 38 years at Cal State Fullerton. All right. And luckily I still have my hairs. Okay. But anyway, so this is my first job and obviously will be my last job. Okay. So I kind of enjoy teaching. One of the benefits is I can see young people every year. That somehow make myself feel, I'm not that old at all. But anyway, so I hope that we have a productive semester. I think that's the most important thing for everyone. So let me go ahead and open up our Canvas website. Sure that we are. All right, it's right here. Okay. So this is the section 50 of the website. Some of my students are from section 51. I already invited you to join section 50. And the reason is it's kind of hard for me to maintain two sets of identical thing at the same time. You know that one of the best practices of software engineering is single source of information. You don't want to double the same information at two places. Eventually you get into trouble. Okay. All right. Anyway, so I have invited section 51 student to join section 50 already. If you cannot see the section 50, please email me. So I will, try to figure out what's going on. All right. And then help you out. I posted the section 50 and also the 51 announcement already. I need to have some feedback. Has anyone already checked out the section 50? Oh, yes, it's available already. Very good. All right. So the best way actually is to look at the syllabus. All right, so I'm going to open up that one, but before I open it up, let me just say that everyone is busy. Most of you have full-time job, you have to juggle around your career, your study, your family, your significant others, that kind of thing. So I guess to make things efficient is the best way to go. All right. So that's the reason why if you look at the class website, you can see that I have posted all 17 weeks activity, including the assignments already, right? So that everybody is on the same page from day one of the semester, right? So I think that probably is the best way to make sure everybody can have an efficient and productive semester. All right, okay, so let's take a look at the syllabus over here, right? So let me open up that one. So you can see that the syllabus I provided also is kind of in detail, so to speak, because you can see that if you go over the syllabus, I pretty much set out everything, including all the assignment due dates, right? And then most likely I won't change that one, all right? Then you know that all the important days will ahead of time, right? I also provide a lot of FAQs, right? So simply because that I think that it is another very efficient way of solving the problem, answering the question, that kind of things. All right. So I appreciate that if you can kind of go over the FAQs, so that you know what's going on. And then sure enough, if you still have additional questions, definitely you are welcome to approach me and ask your, one of a kind or private questions, right? As a person getting old, I guess I becomes a little bit chatty. My wife complains about that. But anyway, but I do enjoy talking to young people like you. So feel free to reach out to me, and I'm more than happy to chat with you. Most of the time, I actually recommend that real time. I will call you, right? So we can have a real time conversation, right? But anyway, so that's the syllabus over there, a very detailed one. But anyway, so the first thing I want to mention is software verification and validation. That is the title of the class. It's a little bit tacky, all right? So what do you mean the verification, validation? It is part of the software testing. If you don't like this name, but you can say that, hey, that's the advanced the software testing course, right? Before I go over more detail, I would like to kind of share a little bit my understanding of the software testing, and also to give you a little bit motivation to spend or invest a little more time in this class, right? So one of the typical questions people may ask is, how come we have this class, right? A simple, straightforward answer probably is, well, that's a part of the curriculum. I have to take it. That's the way it is. I think that's a good enough answer, but on the other hand, may not be the best answer, right? But my answer that somehow makes a little bit more sense, in my opinion, is that maybe we should look at that question from the other angle, right? So what is the purpose of you guys are here? Well, obviously you want to have a good career, right? You can bring bread, food back home on the table. So if you look at that one, the whole society, whole economic system, at least at this point, is money driven, right? Although it's a kind of little bit cold-blooded to say that money is everything. No, money is not everything. But on the other hand, if you have money, obviously things become better. All right. Nothing wrong with that one. We have the right to pursue our career, to make a living, to become financial secure. All right. So, but anyway, so the first question is, where is my money in this class? Although it's not a very classical way of them asking the motivation for the academic course, but at the end of the day, that actually is the real question. Where is my money? All right, okay. So let me offer a little bit positive answer. Software testing in terms of money flow based on some of the study may not be 100% correct, but I personally believe that is the case. In terms of the full cycle of the software life cycle, every $1 spent in this one cycle, in this complete cycle, more than 50 cents spent in software testing. All right. So that's where the money is, right? So in order to make your money, well, you just like a river. Do you need water? Yes, you do need water. So how do you get water? You live close by the river, All right. You don't want to live 300 miles away from the river. All right. If this is just in your front porch, gee, you got your water easily. All right. But anyway, so based on that view, there is money in this class. All right. So I hope that that give you a little bit more motivation to invest on your own. I do not push you because this is a graduate level course. All right. Everybody is a professional now. All right. So the best way to try yourself is not pressure anymore. Right. It's your passion, it's your own desire. All right. So anyway, so that's the software engineering, software testing, software verification, and validation class. I hope that can give you a little bit more motivation. Another thing I just want to mention that one. Software testing itself is a well-defined market. Let's put that way. All right. It has its own group of practitioners. It has its own group of academic research. So it's a distinct part of the whole software business. It's a well-defined. It has this well-defined career ladders you can kind of climb. Some of the field does not have that. All right. So either you're very good, either you look that one, that's zero. Okay. I call this market as a linear market. What does that mean? That means, oh, I'm so-so, I'm not that good. Well, actually, market does want you. There's, 60K job, not very good, right? But hey, it's a variable. Someone onto that one to spend half a year. Well, maybe you can jump to the 80K, 90K, 100K, 120. It's a linear market. You need to realize that some of the markets that do not behave that way. Some of the markets are so-called STEM market. You are very good. For example, later on we probably will talk about a little bit on AI. Okay, the AI in terms of training, in terms of the LLM large language model, I think, in my opinion, is a STEM market. All right, you are very good. You have this correct pedigree, I call that. Okay, well, you're smart enough. The starting salary probably is 300K. All right, but if you're a little bit off, you kind of slide down all the way to zero. All right, so pick your market carefully. All right, so for young people, I sometimes say, hey, you need to watch these things. Make sure that you are in the right marketplace. All right, some of you are very good. Nothing wrong with that one. Go for that STEM market. You are the king of the world, top of the crane right away. All right, nothing wrong with that one. Great, congratulations. But if you are not so sure, don't take that risk. All right, go into the linear market. Software testing is a linear market. All right, but anyway, so let's go to some of the typical stuff. All right. Anyway, so that's my name there. I do have an office in the next building, 546. But most of the time, you guys probably will see me on Zoom. So over here, I do have office hours there. The university requires us to have 3 hours office hours per week. I have 2 hours is in person, and then I do reserve 1 hour for Zoom. So from some of you want to kind of talk to me, you may want to use this Zoom office hour. I also understand that some of you may not make it during that hour. Don't worry, just email me and then we figure out something. In the past, typically is you gave me your cell phone number, some of the time slots so you can pick up the phone, and then I simply call. All right, so in 5 minutes, we probably will resolve most of the issues. And we probably spend another 10 minutes chatting to each other, that kind of thing. All right, so that's the office hour. email, I do have a special request. Please help me out. And I really thank you in advance, all right? In terms of email, I do have this regular CSUF email. I do prefer that if possible, don't use that email address. And the reason for that one is there are so many outside world know that email address, and they bombard me with all kinds of email. It's very hard for me to handle that. All right. So please use the Canvas email. I kind of mentioned that one in the summer already. All right. So do me a favor, and also obviously sometimes you have to use the regular email, my regular email address. That's fine too. But I do need to apologize in advance. Sometimes I just miss it. There are so many, all right? Okay, but anyway, that's my special request, right? I do have this learning goal whatsoever, right? That's typical. We will see the content during the whole semester. So let me go ahead and skip that one. In terms of textbook, I do have two. The first one is my own. In the process, try to come up with my own textbook. It's an alpha version provided for free. All right, so I'm not going to charge you. We do have another one. It's from a well-known researcher. And then that one is optional. It's a very good one. But on the other hand, well, I do provide another one there. And then because I'm obviously more familiar with my own one, so my whole thing actually align with the one I'm working on. The content are very similar anyway. All right, so that's the situation. All right, I do have a tentative schedule here. As I mentioned before, I lay out all the assignments on the first day of the class already, and blah, 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 that kind of thing. But unfortunately, I also need to apologize, all right? I will add more assignments to the existing assignment. Then you say, why? I have to say that the world is changing. Most of you probably noticed that, okay? And we need to work hard a little bit, all right? So that we won't be left behind, all right? So AI is everywhere. Dr. Bin Kang is going to talk about that after me. So I have a plan to add the AI components into the existing classical approach. I think that we need both, all right? I start my AI type of learning since about 1.5 years ago. At the undergraduate level, I have another class called Edge AI, right? But anyway, so I think that I'm qualified. I'm not the best one for sure, but on the other hand, I think that I know something about the AI. Hopefully, I can help you guys a little bit. All right. So basically, there will be an AI component in the field of software testing. All right. So, so do expect that we need to work a little bit harder. Won't be too hard, but a little bit hard. I think it's worth it. Right. So this is the tentative schedule is there. Okay. And then the grading policy obviously is kind of standard type of things. And then we do have, all this presentation assignment, essay assignment, discussion assignment, and then group project assignment. Okay. So anyway, everything has been laid out already. The first day of class, please be my guest to take a look so that you can have a whole idea about how do you allocate your time and energy, all right, effort in this class. And hopefully that we do have a productive semester. In terms of discussion topic, right? So let me say something about that one. So one part of this assignment is discussion. All right. So I guess most of you probably went through the similar things before, since this is second years. All right. We have this forum discussion board, everyone jump on and then say something, all right? And hopefully somebody else read it, okay? At least I read it, okay. All right. I think it's a good format. Why? The three most important things in terms of career. One of those three, by the way. Three most important things in your career development. Everyone wants to have a stable, rewarding career, right? Okay. And things not going well at this moment. So you need to pay attention to see. My son just got laid off from Raytheon. Okay. Anyway, Raytheon people. But anyway, three most important things in terms of your career building. Any volunteers? Number one? Give me a try.
Being up to date.
Up to date, okay. Number two? Networking. Number three? Anyway, it's an old story. Anyway, so the so-called correct answer, obviously, it just depends on how do you see that. The correct answer is networking, networking, networking. Just like a real estate, come on, you buy the house, okay, location, 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 networking, networking, networking. All right, so take a look. The discussion is networking. All right. So try to write something that try other people's attention. Oh, I remember this person is in my cohort. All right. Okay. All right. But anyway, so you can see that my discussion is passing and failing. I kind of have a clear cut, binary type of things. All right. But I do have this request. All right. There's some kind of minimal effort. That means you need to write enough, right? Okay. Otherwise, it's a, hey, let me write, spend 2 minutes. Come on, it doesn't work that way. Okay. Enough effort. Most of us do have enough effort. Most of us are mature enough already. We are not here for fun, by the way. All right, like an undergraduate. Oh, it's fun time. No, we are very serious. We want to build a long-term rewarding career. All right. But anyway, minimal effort. The second one, I want to emphasize that, hey, I want you to have a label. By the way, this is required. You have no choice. If you don't have that one, you got zero. Okay. No matter what. Okay. I want you to have a section labeled as my clothing thoughts. You need to have this exact title. Don't omit the first word, my. Some other people say, gee, closing thought, that's good enough. Well, there is a significant difference between closing thought and my closing thought. All right. So the emphasis is don't just summarize whatever you read. All right. I'm not interested in that one. And you are not interested in that one. Okay. You want to say, hey, what do I think? Okay. I want to know, what do you think? All right. Why? Because in the past, summarizing the existing knowledge has market value. Oh, I can summarize this. I know this. You don't, so pay me more. But nowadays, in this AI era, AI can do that for you easily. All right. So basically, AI, in my mind, in some way, I expect it's a super search engine. Okay. It kind of give you the collection of the human knowledge, summarize that in a one-page form. Well, that's great. That's great. But that's not yours. It's good to know. So your contribution, your value actually is from your unique perspective. All right. And so So please give me your thoughts, all right? Sure enough, you look at other people's or the collection of the human knowledge. Is the collection of human knowledge is always 100% correct? Maybe not. Maybe not. All right. So you look at the topic and say, hey, yes, this is the collection of the current human knowledge, but I look at that one and say, gee, I may not agree. Please be brave enough to say it. All right. So we need to have that kind of practice. All right. So don't omit that first word, my. All right. My closing thought. Okay. But anyway, so that's kind of important. Over here, I also have this, one or two FAQs that relate to the AI. All right. There's one, debate among this academic community. Should we allow students to use AI? Is that a cheating? Okay. For example, when you discuss something, can I use the AI to discuss? Well, this is some kind of a question under debate for some time already. But anyway, my answer is over here. The question goes this way. Am I allowed to use AI as a tool to assist my discussion assignment or other assignments? My answer is yes. All right. There's several reasons. The first reason is I have no way to check anyway. Okay, very difficult for me to check anyway. The second one is I feel that, hey, I'm using my AI to do my own work too. Okay, how come I can have this more high ground to scope at you? No, I'm not going to do that. All right, I'm not hypocrite. Okay, all right. And also, there's a very important point. The AI won't replace your job. The people who use AI will replace your job. All right. So we might as well to join that group. All right. So yes, please use the AI as a tool. Copilot, ChatGPT 5, or we have a local, version of ChatGPT. I guess they put some kind of skin wrap around the ChatGPT. We call titanium GPT. Okay, anyway, so this is GPT. All right. All right. DeepSeek, another news is 2 weeks ago, they rolled out this open source DeepSeek and also open weight. It forces OpenAI to release the open weight too. Okay. But anyway, interesting stuff. All right. Anyway, please go ahead and use that one. But I do have a recommendation or request. Don't use AI to write your clothing thought, because your AI just simply summarized whatever the current existing knowledge. And believe it or not, that current existing knowledge collection may not be right. Okay. So you look at yourself and then look at the situation, the topic, and say, gee, if I don't agree, I'm going to say that I don't agree. I have another view. All right. So that's my view on using the AI. All right. We'll talk more about when I add this more AI module into the content of the course. All right. That's the things I want to mention. Any questions so far? Anything? Anything from online? I do not know how many people are online at this point. But anyway, we have for 16, 17 weeks, we have plenty of time. Right? If not, I want to talk about a little bit on the group project. We do have a project, right? I want to spend a little bit of time on that one, right? The best way probably is I open another tab on my browser.
You can right-click the top tab itself.
Well, Not there. Ah, right there. Okay. All right, so you can see that we do have a group project there. And then I post all the group project related material already. All right. Let me talk about this group project, all right, a little bit. Okay. Um, in software testing, in this marketplace, we have two major participants. Okay. One is industrial people, that business people, software business people, right? So sometimes people call that as practitioners. They practice. They make a living on that one. Okay. Another group of people is academic people like me. Okay. We teach, make a living. All right. How do you compare those two groups of people? They have their weakness, they have their strengths. So it's kind of hard to compare. It's orange and apple type of things, right? So when you try to study this thing, then what do you want to learn from? I think the best approach is probably from both sides. Okay. So that's the reason why in my effort to deliver this knowledge I also have two parts. So one is from the viewpoint of academic people like me. Okay. Another is from the people like a practitioner. All right. So because I myself also enjoy being a practitioner. Okay, so for some reason I kind of enjoy using my fingers. All right. Okay. So the lecture most of the time focus on this academic viewpoint. Okay. What does that mean, the academic view term? Academic people have this strange, I don't know, habit that we always want to model the world. All right. E equal to MC squared, that kind of thing. All right. Trying to figure out some kind of formula that explain, that interpret all the things happening around us, that kind of thing. All right. That's an academic view. All right. So most of the lecture there try to have that kind of approach. This is the problem. Do I have a systematic way of solving that one? That one bullet kills all the birds, that kind of, or all the that kind of thing. Obviously, it's impossible, but anyway, we're trying. So okay. But on the other hand, the practitioners, they focus on solving the real world immediate problem. Okay. The problem somehow can bring economic benefits. All right, nothing wrong with that one. Come on, we need to meet ends needs tomorrow. Okay, but anyway, so in order to combine both, so I say, well, hands-on type of thing problem. It's an important valuable part of the whole thing. So that's a motivation for this group project. Okay. And then the next level is, well, what kind of real world type of things we can do? All right. In terms of software testing, you need to have something as a target. You want to test something, right? You need to target, right? The so-called system under test. All right. So how do then you design something to test it, right? So you have two parts, right? So how do you do this? If you don't have the system under test, can you do tests? You don't have target. Well, how? You can do nothing. So one approach is you kind of make out this system under test yourself. All right. Obviously very small, and then figure out test cases to go against that one. It works. But on the other hand, this one is not a real world thing. You make it up, actually. Okay. Nothing wrong with that approach, but I thought about that one and said, gee, we're going to spend time anyway. So maybe we use the real world stuff and then try to figure out the test, that kind of thing, right? So that's the motivation behind that approach. And then look around and see, well, what are the real stuff, available out there? Oh, the GitHub, there's a lot, tons of open source, very interesting open source project, right? But some of them are very small, experimental type of things, may not have a good commercial value. But anyway, in the end, I decide to use ERP system as a real world testing target. So ERP is a fancy word. How many of you actually heard this ERP system, from the 30 years ago, people come up with that strange word. But anyway, it's an office or business automation software. It's an office automation software, all right? And this particular one is Odoo, O-D-O-O, okay? Most of you probably never heard about that one, but a couple months ago, I saw this billboard on Freeway 22. Okay, they have this huge sign. Odoo, okay, they are trying to push into this market. Okay, but anyway, Odoo is one of the top 10 ERP system, open source available type of thing in the marketplace. All right. Oracle, SAP, oh, they are so expensive, that kind of thing, close already. You cannot do anything about that without $1 million. Okay. But this one is free. All right. Okay. And good enough with source code, with great community support. Right. Then I look at that one and say, great, this probably is a target system we can use. It has a lot of testing cases already. We can kind of imitate, duplicate, and then innovate, and eventually, have our own stuff. All right. So I think it's a natural way, easier way to learn things. All right. The added advantage is, well, one ERP system, all right, is a full web stack, front-end, back-end, database, everything. And then the technology used are the current market standard, Python in the, JavaScript in the front end, Python in the back end, and then Postgres database. Come on, you can get some kind of good enough job if you know those stuff. All right. And then great community support. Then you have a whole idea about, well, how do you have this full stack stuff? Although we only do the testing part, okay. But that exposes you to that environment. You are kind of starting thinking, maybe I can do something about that one. All right. So that's the group project there. I do have, all the videos type of things, right? One thing I do apologize is, the commercial product, they have this new version every year, add a little bit whistle and bells, and then say, hey, we have another version. All right, that's the commercial, way of being there, and then showing the existence, showing their effort there. All right, so the current lecture version I have is their version of 15, Odoo 15. Their current version is 18, right? But the changes are minimal, actually. It's not just a little bit more the whistle and bells there. Okay. The current version, actually, I run the current version already, right? But it's too costly, time consuming to revamp the whole lecture, to try to catch this current 18. So the recommendation for your group project is version 15. But everything actually applies to version 18. If you are really, really interested into this kind of things, yeah, go ahead and use version 18. I have no objection at all, pretty much the same thing, right? But my lecture provided is version 15. I probably will update that 18 this year, that kind of thing, okay? But anyway, I personally enjoy doing these things, and then I learn a lot myself. But anyway, this is the the group project related things. And hopefully that you guys can work together, exchange information, helping each other. This thing's a little bit tedious, all right? But come on, there are two ways of making money. You make fast money, that kind of thing, invest AI stock, hopefully you won't die, okay? Or you make slow but steady money, all right? There are two ways of making money, all right? So this kind of tedious stuff, I think, is a slow and steady way of making money. In the long run, you win. You have great chance of win, all right? This is fast money. You're lucky, that's fine. You're not lucky, you lose your shares, okay? All right, so that pretty much is the things I want to kind of mention, all right? Any other time, anything? No? All right. Okay, well, that pretty much concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for listening to me for this. I mean,
You see anyone, the channel, they got any questions?
I didn't open that one. Oh yeah, they're over there. Thank you for letting us know if there's anything